okay? This is how we create a little bit of juice, a little bit of action. All right, guys, please take it away.
That was such a cool graphic that brought us in to the first game of the Premier Cup, Cole. It is going to be wonderful. It's going to be such a fun tournament, as it always is, for European Rocket League. And we were saying that, Williams Resolve, we took them on to be the team that may well win here. It's by no means a shock if either of these teams smash the other one or if it's a close one. I think they are incredibly close with their performances. Luminosity are just a little bit more of a roster that you can kind of think, yeah, maybe they just don't have it to go against Williams Resolve.
Oh, well, Luminosity, they are an entertaining team, that's for sure. We had Tox and Ixo coming together towards the end of last season and doing so well with SK Gaming before they trailed off somewhat. And then what a pickup. Atomic for Yukio. Atomic, who was Team Queso's best player more often than not. This is the former version of Team Queso, and they got themselves to the championships and did so much. He is capable of digging them out of a hole if they find themselves in one. You can never be confident you've got the win when Atomic has the ball against you. So Williams Resolve are going to have to deal with that one, but they are such a solid team themselves. And we're seeing it already. They're relatively comfortable defending against Luminosity Gaming. Luminosity Gaming, a team that tend to strike fear into their opponents, Stumpy.
Yeah, I think with the Luminosity, they love to shoot a lot. They like to really take it to their opponents as often as they can. But then they also allow a lot of shots on the backside of their gameplay where they don't actually shut down that much in the midfield. Good bump coming in as well. They don't shut down that much in the midfield, but equally, they are quite happy to work on the counter-attack. I think that's going to suit Williams quite well. And I think that when teams do accept a lot of that pressure, you need to be the best defensive team in the world to then put up with the best attacking teams in the world. Luminosity, for me right now, aren't that team, but they can certainly grow into it.
A lovely pass there from Ixo to Tox, who was already up for it, but Sizen gets himself in the way. And this is sort of what we expect from the start of a tournament. Slow and steady, just finding yourself into this first series, making sure you don't give too much away. Remember, the reward for finishing top of your group is going into that upper bracket, having an extra life when the playoffs begin tomorrow. It's massive. And the playoffs begin tomorrow and beyond. Who'll be the first of these teams to give their opponents a chance. A bit of an awkward touch there. Sizen's up, might get the first goal of this open, but it's saved on the goal line and then saved again by Tox and Ixo.
Yeah, a couple of efforts to clear that ball away from the goal line. Currently not yielding any results until a great pass from Atomic towards Ixo. Goes up for the air dribble, isn't able to connect. And the defense from Williams Resolve standing strong just as the Luminosity defense is. Atomic having to tip that one just over the line. Williams Resolve doing so well versus Queso, the eventual winners of our Apollo Open a couple of weekends ago, where they ended up taking Queso to Game 7 and played in 5 overtimes against them, losing out only in the final Game 7 overtime. It was so close. They were the strongest team versus Queso, and that was the upper semi. So Williams Resolve have got a lot to live up to, I think, seeing as then they went down and just punched repeatedly on the floor by Dignitas.
It was cruel. If it was a boxing match, the referee would have said no more after about 13 seconds in the Dignitas versus Williams Resolve match. But I'm sure they won't have that in their mind. They'll have the series that came before when they performed so well and this defensive solidity that is showing. Quick transitions for Dosin that challenges Ixo in the air. There's a great pass out from Tox to Atomic, who couldn't quite connect with it, but Prime finds himself still stranded skywards. Ixo versus Redosin. It's still pretty slow pedestrian at this point. No one really taking too much of a risk. Lots of safe touches. No clear chances so far.
Yeah, a lot of players playing for that close 50, then passes. Great save out the way by Tox. Backflips it to safety. A pass central from Prime over to Redosin. Back out from Prime, but the miss is missing. Redosin now with a chance to try and get that round into the orange half to continue the attack. Sizen taking full advantage of Tox, slowing the game down. Chance for Eats, though, to go for one of his terrifying dribble plays. A man who is very, very good at 1v1s. More historically, more than nowadays. It's definitely transitioned into the 3v3 scene with absolute abundance.
Oh, that's awkward from Eats, though. He was just a little bit too close to the ball there, so his touch sent the ball behind him. He did well to recover, to be fair, and then gets the 100 boost from the center. So no harm done, but just a slightly shaky moment. The later we get and the closer we go with 0 goals scored, each and every touch just has that extra pressure attached to it. You know, this first goal, the first statement in this tournament. They're trying to force it for themselves. There's Atomic. Around the corner he goes. Ixo's up to the sky where Prime was already waiting. Just Luminosity Gaming looking better in the last 20 seconds or so. Can they get themselves a chance? Here's Atomic. This could be it. And it is. Luminosity almost take game 1.
Tox finding the EU Atomic. Sorry, Orb, it's not G2 this time. Double tap from that backboard and finding the bottom right corner. Atomic was there exactly when he needed to be. The lead for Luminosity in the final 17 seconds of game number 1. It's vital in the group stages to get these early leads, to give yourself that confidence and to work up the buffer. Radosin going for one touch, but Tox to clear it away. Prime now fully on the back foot with 60 boost. He has to do something special. Works his way up high, but Ixo with a nice pre-jump to get out of the way, and again out the way of the defense. Now it's time for Luminosity to let this ball touch the floor. Worked off a couple of defenders. Still chances, though, with only 6 boost. Prime can't do too much. Punted to the floor. Luminosity, they take game number 1.
Yeah, a pretty slow start, really, for both of these teams, but fair play to Luminosity. They grinded it out and in the end got their rewards. They did have 11 shots compared to Williams Resolve's 5, so I guess statistically that was a fair result. I think I'm a little bit disappointed so far from Williams Resolve. You know, when they came up against Team Queso in the last regional, what they did so well was when they had a chance, they would take it. Their shooting was on point. Their decision-making was great. So even though they weren't going for flip resets all the time and trying a million different mechanical plays, they would at least be a bit more creative. I think we were lacking it somewhat there.
Yeah, I'd like to see more creativity, personally. Or in that series, it definitely seemed, in that game rather, it seemed like they were definitely trying to figure each other out and get their footing early on in the Premier Cup.
I mean, but isn't that pretty common, though? You know, you get warmed up. You know, that way you can kind of scrap a loss, right? We lost, but it was kind of a warm-up situation. If anybody was going to score, of course, it was going to be EU Atomic, okay? It just makes sense. I was watching the BDS game that just ended, and now I missed the final result. But BDS was up by 2. BDS was up by 2. And then they gave away 2 goals. And it was a tie, and it was a long overtime. Who actually sniped the win?
BDS
I'm on the edge of my seat
3-2,
right here.
apparently. With about a 2-minute overtime, BDS ended up taking it.
There you go. Sorry, I couldn't find my result sheet.
That was beautiful.
What, though?
I felt like I was watching it live with the 2 goals equalised and then suddenly OT.
Tell you what, though, that is a really, really good start for Guild. If they've taken BDS to an overtime, either that's on BDS to try and bring it back a little bit, or it's on Guild to just continue that form. But LG, big old Luminosity, they're going to need to continue this form. And if you're watching any of these team streams, we're looking at Resolve and Luminosity right now. You can watch Williams Resolve with Fans from the Past and Months over on twitch.tv/ResolvePOV, or you can watch the very strange from last week viewing party of Luminosity on LG Loyal. That is with Fury, Rocky No Hands, and Anomaly.
Or any of the other series as well. Any team you want to watch, they will have their own broadcast. Go and cheer them on. We will not hold it against you. We're just an overview of everything. But Stumpy will, but the rest of us are more balanced and fair than that. And speaking of balanced and fair, this has been a very balanced series so far. Neither team is really making too much of a statement. Atomic might be about to, but his double tap just not accurate enough.
Yeah, definitely a chance there, I think, for Atomic, but I think he rightly assumed the Williams player was going to get the second touch and just completely failed to. Prime couldn't quite pick up that bat booster. He has to return whilst getting bumped on the way. Sizing the weak shot allows Ixo to take a touch. And I think a couple of times I just want to see these players take the initiative of maybe he'll miss, and if he does, then I can go for the proper shot. Don't bank on them hitting it, especially if you're already up. Otherwise, what are you even there for?
Tox was a little bit slow in defense earlier on, and it almost left him punished, but he was well backed up by his teammates on the goal line. Williams Resolve definitely looking a lot more in this second game as they're trying to pass the ball and force some angles to get each other on the ball. A tactical use of the second jump there from Prime gets in the dunk, and now Williams Resolve are in. Radosin, though, decides against that one. The slow, steady approach doesn't quite work here. Sends them all the way back, then a miss by Prime. It's still just a little bit staggered, both of their attacks.
Yeah, a couple of times we've seen that backboard miss too. I don't want to see that become a trend, because that is what a lot of teams, they get beaten down for. And as soon as any of these teams see that, their backboard defense is not great, again with Radosin just giving that ball to the defender, does get the touch, but it's still not great. Lovely pass back from Atomic over towards Tox, but at least they're not able to get the position. As soon as your opponent sees that you are not getting the backboard clears, then they're going to keep peppering the backboard.
Still a little bit twitchy, though. Ixo had time, more than he realised, when that ball was landing on him. He just sort of rushed into a dodge, which I think it was Radosin on the goal line. It's exactly what he wanted. So Luminosity Gaming, they just need to let that extra split second happen. Williams Resolve are giving them space. They are giving them chances to do a bit more of the ball than they are. That's when they turn to a player like Atomic. He's got boost in the tank. He goes to the ceiling. Prime closed them down nice and fast, and now it falls to Eek. So they're just starting to put their pincer attack on Williams Resolve right now, and it's almost coming in clutch.
Atomic just being shunted away from that ball, nearly getting the shot off though. But yeah, just cutting across, and it's not very pretty to look at. Ixo though with a very pretty goal.
Lovely finish from Ixo. I think the man on the goal line thought he'd have this covered, but such was the quality and speed of the shot. Oh, there was Prime. He's already pre-jumping it. Gets himself in trouble already. I think he was avoiding a dodge. Maybe that's... sorry, a bump, sorry. That's what put him into trouble. So in the end, it was a lovely attack from Luminosity.
Yeah, Tox forced Prime to reverse in there and jump, putting him into just the worst position. Regardless, Ixo getting that nice acute angle down. He manages to get the goal. Luminosity again going to be up with a minute and 50 this time. Atomic up for the double. Sizen missing again though, and on the goal line, Ixo punishing those backboard misses.
There we go, Atomic. He's faked him out here. Everyone's expecting him to get it, so Sizen rushes. Radosin desperate to make up for it, and then that's horrible for Sizen. Gravity was not his friend there. All he could do was flop to the floor and watch the ball bounce over him for 2-0.
That was pretty bad from Sizen. Like, that was pretty bad. He needs to just get a touch there. Isn't able to. Regardless of Atomic, he's the one to clear it away. He wants to get the monkey off his back and get away from the thoughts that, okay, our backboard defense isn't great. Again, the double commit though. Williams Resolve, they're looking shaky.
They are. Where's the communication? They were both in the air for about 15 minutes and they still double committed. All it would have taken was one call to say I got it or leave it or literally anything. And that could have been avoided. Here's Sizen though, trying to make up for it. Doinks to himself, gets an angle, but what a demo that is from Ixo. It seems that every time Williams Resolve are about to take control of the situation, someone from Luminosity Gaming flies in and just takes them off the pitch.
Yeah, it was a nice demo just to clear it away because the attacker still went for the pass as well, even though Radosin is no longer there. Prime up for one. It's blocked out by Sizen. I like that fake out from the two of them. Radosin to shoot. Tox to save as Luminosity continuing this 2-goal lead. A great pass from Atomic onto the backboard, but with no boost to follow. And now falls again to Williams. This is just ping pong back and forth, trying to get the best redirect possible.
Oh, the best redirect, or the best ceiling pinch. Look at that from Tox. And I tell you what, Stumpy, with 20 or 30 seconds left and 2 goals to the good, it'll be Luminosity that are a lot more pleased with this ping pong gameplay. Every second that goes is another victory for them. Tox going to try and get in the way of Radosin. Radosin wins the race, but doesn't do too much with it. And now more backboard awkwardness from Williams Resolve. It almost leads to a 3rd goal. Atomic's on the backboard himself, trying to take Sizen out the game. Williams Resolve won't go a 3rd goal down, but their backboard defense has been shocking, frankly.
It's literally rookie errors. Just missing those basic touches. It gives your attackers, it gives your opponents so much confidence to work your way in. And confidence is such a huge thing in series like this. I mean, we've seen it across so many esports. As soon as an opponent sees a hole in your gameplay, as far as I'm concerned, that's game over.
No, absolutely. I mean, finding a weakness and really, I don't know, utilizing your skill to dig into said weakness, that could be extremely bad if you can't adapt fast enough. And I don't know, maybe just switch up your game. So far, it's looking like Chad is gonna beat us on this one. Okay, right now,
I mean, Chad had it dead on.
Yeah. Go Cole.
I was gonna say, we have had 2 games now where at the start of game 1, I really thought that you're finding your way into it. It's slow, it's steady, that's fine. But I think Luminosity have realized that they do not need to speed up because for whatever reason, Williams Resolve are not at the races. So where I was a little bit disappointed with both teams in game 1, now I'm saying fair play Luminosity. You don't have to overextend. You don't have to try and risk anything that doesn't have to be risked because Williams Resolve aren't putting any pressure back on you all.
Well, for now.
Yeah,
for
true.
now. I was checking out the Navi stream because obviously they had their previous regional. They had, their internet issues that we kept talking about. That was heartbreaking to see. Virtuoso's internet issues just prevented them from playing at all. Now they finally got to playing. It started really strong. They were up 2-0 against Semper, and then something went wrong. We talked about, finding a weakness and exploiting that weakness. That seemed to have happened there because they ended up losing. I believe 2-4 was the final score there.
Gutting for Na'Vi, but bear in mind, guys, you can all go and watch those streams. To keep an eye out on any of the links that we're going to be showing off on the stream. Thank you all, though, as Game 3 gets underway. And Luminosity, one more game with no goals for Williams Resolve. And that, my friends, is a perfect sweep.
And I don't think that Williams Resolve can have too many complaints if they end up being perfect sweat, but that's slightly better, more incisive from them, and a demo at the end of it. I feel like their coach has been shouting at them, telling them to start playing it properly. Rix Ronde is saying, lads, we got to get some passes going, but still they can't get the goals in. Interesting touch from Tox, sets up Prime, who takes that extra split second. That's what was needed. Williams Resolve get their goal.
Prime has 0 boost through that entire play, knows that all the defense is going to be challenging him, and he just takes it slower, flicks it perfectly top corner, bear in mind, and Atomic at a standstill. The boost isn't able to get him there. Perfect sweep denied, and Williams Resolve with the lead.
A change of pace, exactly what Williams Resolve needed. Now, can they really put their foot on the pedal and keep on going and make Luminosity come out of their shell? Way more than they've had to so far. Good touch there from Tox. Towards the backboard he goes and wants to steal this boost as well, and does. So that could put Williams Resolve in a bit of a quandary as they try and get this ball out. But actually Size and slow things down really well to tee up Prime. Williams Resolve playing much better now. This is the version of them that got into the top 5 and top 6 at the last regional Stumpy.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely the gameplay change where you've gone down by 2. If you lose this one, it's like, fine, we lose the series anyway, and it clearly wasn't working how we were playing before. Let's just try and attack a little bit more, try and get into positions where we're able to threaten the net of Luminosity, because they are, like you said, they were running away with it. You know, they were making sure that they were taking those chances. Prime up for one reset. Leaves the air dribble onto the backboard. Sizen to collect.
We wanted control, and here it is. Prime is the man who has stepped right up. Oh my goodness, that is absolutely glorious. When you can make a player like Atomic completely fooled, you know that it's a beautiful couple of touches.
90 seconds gone, and Williams Resolve managing to score 2 in that time as well. Looking like they want to be winning out on this third match. Prime to drop it down. Sizen with a late jump allows an avenue for Atomic to work his way into. Redosing can't get the ceiling pinch like Tox did earlier. That was just magnificent to watch. Sizen up for 1 to the backboard, but doesn't continue going up, so Atomic, he's able to catch it in the midfield. Couple of chances now, seeing a lot more for Williams Resolve, looking like a team that knows that they got into the top 5-6 spaces previously.
Tox though goes for a flip reset himself and then gets the bump on Redosing instead. Good communication now from Williams Resolve. Even when the unexpected is happening from Luminosity, they're able to deal with it much better in defense. Able to stand strong and frustrate their opponents like they did so often before. Around the corner goes Redosing. He might have a pass in the center. He takes his time yet again. Brilliant play. And slows it down. Atomic, he's looked a little bit lost with what Williams Resolve are offering them right now. And now suddenly it's Luminosity that are getting in each other's way, bumping each other, struggling to bring the ball forwards, and just desperate to get themselves on the score sheet.
I mean, we've certainly seen Williams Resolve work their way into this position previously. I mean, looking back at the Apollo Open, they managed in the first round to reverse sweep Evil Geniuses. When they went down 2, they then won 3 in a row. In fact, out of 8 of the best of 5 reverse sweeps we've had this season in Europe, Williams Resolve have been part of 2 of them. They've got 25%. That is a massive, massive percentage. And Williams Resolve, they must know that. Maybe just a slow starter team instead.
Well, they're almost 33% of the way to bringing this reverse sweep into reality. That's a great challenge again from Prime. I feel like Williams Resolve just looks so strong and in control of this game. Luminosity, they're trying to pick things up. You can see that they're desperate to pick up the pace, to get it going, to get things started. But Williams Resolve are just timing when to sit back and when to go. Much better now. That's a better touch from Atomic. Almost worked out. But even when it almost works out, they still survive.
Oh, Redosing, that movement throughout, just holding a handbrake and starting to redshift around the pitch. Awesome, awesome movement, just showing that he's feeling a lot more comfortable in this game now. With a minute left, it's 2 goals, and Ixo trying to go for 1, but blocked out by Prime for that second touch.
There it is.
Sizen now on an open net, has to go for the double. Atomic tries to smash him out the backside. Instead, Sizen can get it in the net.
Yeah, Atomic, it's just frustration there from Luminosity Gaming. The fact that Atomic, I don't even know how much boost he had. He just drove. He just held R2. And he just went. And you could see what was happening from a mile away. And what was happening was Williams Resolve getting their 3rd. Prime has 3. How nice is that?
It's nice. 1 minute. Williams Resolve, chance to just work their way back into this series, I think. And this is a really good time to do it as well. I mean, if you lose it, you're out. So you have to do something in this 3rd game. Luminosity, I think they're a bit shocked by the fact that now Williams Resolve dare challenge them.
Yeah, they look like they've not been expecting it. And by the time they realized what was happening and started to dictate the pace a bit more themselves, they were 2 goals down, and that led to that overcommit earlier on. So you can see what's happening as far as Luminosity go. I certainly expect that we'll see a bit of a change in playstyle from them in game number 4. Maybe try to rush things a bit more at the start rather than get a feel for that game like they did in this one, because Williams Resolve are much more in control than they ever were. But I mean, you know, Luminosity, they were 2 games up, but they weren't exactly playing at their absolute best to get those 2 games. They've basically been given a head start, and now the question is, can they get themselves over the line against a team that got further than them in the last event?
Oh, and have precedent of punishing teams that do start to let off the gas, and when Williams Resolve really do accelerate towards that finish line. A lovely blue livery on your screens right now, as Williams Resolve do manage to take it. Sizen with 2 goals there for himself, and Prime with the 1. And that just looked like a completely different team, Orb.
I mean, does that just mean that Williams Resolve is more of a I don't know, a slow burner of a team? You know, it takes them a little while to get going, but once they do, they just turn into a machine. Is this going to be the reverse sweep?
That's the best. What do you think? Tell you what, mate, I'm going to put you on the spot. What did you think?
If Williams Resolve can, I mean, I obviously predicted them, so of course.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, we all did. Yeah, it is then easy. Yeah, it's fine.
I feel
it
like
is easy.
Yeah, easy.
Oh, this is fun. From our resident stats man who has noticed something that nobody else would notice.
Gregan.
Game 1 was 1-0. No, direct. Game 2 was 2-0.
Oh, it's direct.
Game 3 was 3-0. So
What?
game 4.
It's got to be. Well, it's got to be 4-0.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's
Question mark?
scripted enough, to have, I mean, we saw the groups, we saw the, what Cole said, the yellow group, because literally every team with a yellow logo was in group, was a group D. It's got to be scripted at some point. So we are looking at a 4-0. That's what I'm thinking. Can Williams Resolve bring it back, Cole? What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Luminosity Gaming, a question has been thrown at them. They may well have the answer, but at least they have to do something to get their games now. So I'd say that this is like the new beginning of this series that seemed like it was petering out. Suddenly it has some life. And Williams Resolve, they have experience in recent times of going all the way in these series when things are very real and the pressure is very high. You know, competing with Queso for top 3. That is their recent history. This is nothing to them. Yeah, I'm back in Williams Resolve here still.
I mean, Luminosity, they're the ones that need to start strong, and Tox is the man to do it. With that first goal, that's going to be putting Luminosity in the lead. Great slowdown from Atomic. That change of pace, we saw it be so vital for Prime in the previous game. Atomic certainly taking notes.
For the prophecy to be foretold, this now has to finish 4-0 to Luminosity Gaming, which would surprise me based on the last game. But who knows, maybe they've got even more in the tank than what they've been showing us so far. Williams Resolve, though, we're going to keep plugging away. Going to keep trying to get back into this series, well alive. Tox goes up, though. He's getting a lot more involved. Luminosity Gaming always at their best when Tox is at the end of everything, interlinking all of Atomic and Ixo's touches. But Sizen, brilliant dribbling from him until Tox gets a couple of touches and just slows Williams Resolve down. And look at him now. He's feeling it a lot more as Tox. This is why I love this player.
That movement again. I just love seeing players flow around the pitch like water around a corner. They just look so fun and free, like they know exactly how they need to be approaching the pitch. It's awesome.
Sizen is going to leave that one for Prime. Good decision. Just sending it up, seeing if his teammate can win the race, but actually, Rodosin completely decides against it, which Luminosity Gaming did not expect. So the next touch from Tox, it was a little bit rushed, a little bit into the corner, and this is where Williams Resolve will try to pounce. Smart play here, Rodosin, still on the end of that good decision-making earlier, but it has backfired for now, because Ixo has got no boost, but he has got the ball, and Prime's touches into the center. It could be 2-0 here, and yes, it is.
We just need 2 more to continue the scriptedness of this series. But Tox again with the goal. Ixo, really nice play around the corner, slowing it down a touch, just drawing in 1 defender, and he can then tap it around, and then 2 defenders for Williams Resolve aren't able to get that final touch. 9 seconds gone with 2 goals scored.
That was a really fun little tug of war right there, where there was a good decision there from Williams Resolve, and Luminosity Gaming looked like they were under the thumb for a second, but as soon as they broke out, Williams Resolve had overcommitted to it, and it ended up completely backfiring. So I don't blame WR for what they did. It's just funny how it works out sometimes, but they won't be laughing. They'll instead be trying to get back into this game. 2 goals needed for them. As Prime goes out wide, does he get this extra touch? He doesn't. This worked out well for them. Sizen's in there for a pass. Prime goes up to him. They've been trying that tee up for a couple of times, trying to fake it and prod it. This time they do go for it, but Luminosity Gaming have been learning and listening and watching, and we're ready for it. And Williams Resolve, looking a little bit blunt again.
Tell you what I'd like to see in those positions where you knew Prime was passing that. He didn't have the boost. The passing does manage to work. The shot comes off at least, but just can't quite find its way in. When your teammate is definitely going to pass it, they need to call it. Because if they don't, there's going to be opportunities where then the 50 just happens in the air because your opponent knows exactly as much as you do. Call it early. Let your teammate pre-jump. Sometimes that 0.2 of a second is going to earn you the goal.
The Williams Resolve third man has moved forward about halfway further down the pitch. Look how much they're aggressing right now. They're feeling this is their moment to strike. As Prime goes to the ceiling. Sizen's there. Ixo had to get in the way because there were two angles of attack that Williams Resolve could have taken had he not been interrupting. And that's good play from Atomic just to touch that one of those. Sizen, what a read, sending it right down the heart of the Luminosity Gaming defense. It's interesting touches right now from Luminosity Gaming, really important ones. Ixo has done a lot of work in defense in the last 20 seconds or so. And Williams Resolve are going to have to come forward again. That's a good pass. Here's Prime. He shoots, but it's going to be saved by Tox, who's having a brilliant game. And another important touch. Doesn't get the goal, but he is going to get the assist. Great play from Tox.
That's genius. That's so clever from Tox. Just his movement down the pitch and then getting the demo in the way of Prime sends him to the sky, and Ixo is able to tap it in. One more goal to continue onto the 4-0 trend. LG, they want this story.
What's more likely, 4-0 or Williams Resolve coming back into this one and winning the series?
If Williams Resolve get literally one goal and ruin this for us, I am never forgiving them.
You'll never ever forgive Williams Resolve.
No, never. And they'll feel that.
When they win Worlds and everybody is saying, wow, what a team, they're amazing, we love them. You'll be there on the desk looking glum.
Don't care. Yeah, don't care. I don't care. They're just perfect swept NRG in the final. Don't care.
Yeah, terrible storyline. Oh, is this 4?
That's 4.
Is Ixo? Oh, he's fucking off the post.
Hold. Surely they hold now. Surely they know. Surely I'm obviously not going to type in chat and say to them, guys, 4-0 lol in game 4. But if they do, game 1 was 1-0, game 2 was 2-0, game 3 was 3-0. This would be game 4, 4-0. We need this. This is going to make me happy.
Like we need Twitch chat to sort of send their energy. Just say hold. Lots of caps lock holds coming in for the next 70 seconds or so. We don't want any goals. We're not hyping up any potential. I'll tell you what, if there's a worldie, we'll be like, you know, wow, what a goal in that.
We'll ruin the moment for their social media manager and just not be excited.
I mean, I think if their team is 4-0 down and they score a goal, then that moment's ruined. Oh, Prime, come on.
Prime.
No, Prime. Hey, well done, Ixo.
Come on, don't. Oh, okay, he can't score either, though. He can't score. Right, Radosin, get to the ground now. Good man, Atomic. And he gets the flip reset with the bump. Ixo.
No, slice and say. He's good. Okay,
come on,
it's fine.
30 seconds. 30 seconds for the 4.
Terrified of Williams Resolve's backboard defense.
Don't.
Like, this is going to go to the backboard. And then...
Thank God it's gone to the corner.
If there's a 0-second 5 Miller...
Don't. No, Atomic, don't score a worldie.
Oh, what a save!
Oh, that was nearly a worldie.
That is such a good save. 15 more seconds. Countdown, everyone, from 10.
Come on.
All we want is no more goals. 10.
Right, Atomic,
9,
you need to just
8,
not. Don't you dare
7,
Prime,
6,
leave it. That's it. That's
5,
Sizen.
4,
come on.
3,
no more goals.
2,
don't get a 0.
1.
Don't get a 0 second.
Yes!
The game 1, 1-0. The game 2, 2-0. The game 3, 3-0. The game 4, 4-0. Orb, are you as elated as we are?
The prophecy has rung true, as it was foretold. We knew it was going to be 4-0. Oh my God. Well, I mean, that was actually perfect. I love how you guys got more hype towards the end when you're like, the script could be true. That was really the more exciting thing towards the end. I love that. I love that. I mean, going on in some of the other matchups and some of the other groups, we actually do have our first 3-0s. We have BDS beating Guild 3-0, and then we had Semper beating Navi 3-0. I mean, I'm thinking, is this like BDS's redemption arc from the previous regional? Is it them like, I don't know. Was this meant to happen for them?
I mean, getting perfect swept, you can only really go up from there. That was the last result they had was going, it was like 14 goals down versus Dignitas, which isn't great, and scoring literally 0 and setting a new record. They still got 3rd though, so it's not too bad. You know, you can live off that. I think getting that 3-0 versus Guild is an unbelievably expected result. They need to get the 3-0. They always start, I would say they always start. They typically start boiling hot, which for them is lukewarm. And then they're going to gradually build up, then become volcanic.
Cole, what about you regarding Semper versus Navi? Is that also a predicted outcome for you, that Semper beating them in such a clean